may continue.
Thank you. Ms. LeBlanc, I believe where we left off was I was asking you, reminding you that on cross-examination you were asked whether or not the driver appeared to be in shock. You remember that?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And you said you didn't know?
Yes,
Okay. Do you know what he was looking at, the driver, when he looked in the back seat?
no, sir.
Did you know that 9 bullets had struck that car just moments before?
No, sir.
You were asked about your contact with the police, and I believe you said that the card that was left on your door by the sheriff's office was a day or two after this incident.
Yes, sir.
And then you called the detective and later met with them on December 4th.
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you tell the detectives anything differently than what you've told us today?
No, sir.
And when you gave your sworn statement, did you tell Ms. Wolfson anything different than you've told us today?
No, sir.
Did anything you saw on TV, in the media, saw online, change what you're telling us today?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
All right, may she be excused?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. LeBlanc. State's next witness. Christopher LeBlanc.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
All right, Mr. LeBlanc, if you'll come right around this way and have a seat for us in the witness chair. And just be sure and lean into the microphone or pull it towards you and speak loudly into it so we can all hear you, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Guy, go right ahead.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. If you'd please tell the members of the jury your name.
My name is Christopher LeBlanc.
And Mr. LeBlanc, do you live here in Jacksonville?
Yes, sir, I do.
Is your last name spelled Leblance? Or NC?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. How long have you lived in the Jacksonville area?
Most of my life.
How old are you?
26.
Are you employed?
Yes, sir.
Where is it that you work?
Venus Swimwear.
And what do you do for them?
I work customer service.
And how long have you been working in that capacity?
On and off since 2008.
Let me turn your attention to the early evening of Friday, November 23rd, 2012. Do you remember
Okay.
that evening?
Yes, sir.
Did you go out to dinner that evening?
Yes, sir, I did.
Where?
To the Loop.
Which Loop location?
The one on Southside and Bay Meadows.
Had you ever been to that plaza where the Loop is before?
I had.
And did you go to dinner with anyone that evening?
Yes, sir.
Who was that?
My sister, my son, and her roommate.
All right, your sister's name is?
Alyssa LeBlanc.
And in November of 2012, your son was how old?
2 years old.
And your sister's roommate was there as well?
Correct.
All right. Who did you ride with to the Loop?
My sister.
And your son?
And my son, of course.
And who drove?
My sister.
All right. Did the four of you leave the Loop restaurant at the same time?
Yes, we did.
And do you know where your sister's roommate parked?
Right in front of the Loop.
Okay, was your sister's roommate still with you when y'all were walking back to your car?
No, sir.
I'm sorry, your sister's car.
No, sir. She had pulled off.
All right, let me ask you to look at your monitor. You see States 1 there?
Yes, sir.
You recognize that as being the plaza of stores that contains the Loop restaurant?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. Can you circle on there or mark on that diagram approximately where your sister's car was parked?
Approximately in this area.
All right. And was it, which way was it facing?
It was facing towards the street.
Towards South Side?
Correct.
Okay. As you were walking from the Loop to your sister's car, did you hear anything that caught your attention?
Yes, sir.
What was that?
Gunshots.
And was your sister's roommate still with you?
No, sir.
Had she already gotten her car and left?
Yes, sir, she had.
Where were the gunshots coming from? Where did it sound like they were coming from?
To my left, which would have been towards the gate.
All right, and you're familiar with the fact that there was a Gate gas station
Yes,
to
sir.
your left? Did you hear multiple gunshots?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you recall the exact number that you heard?
I don't recall the exact number. I do remember there were 2 sets.
Okay. And can you describe the sequence as far as the pause? Was there, describe for the jury what you heard. You said you heard 2 sets. Describe for him what you heard.
I heard a round of a few shots, and then there was a slight pause, and then there was another round of a few shots.
And do you recall whether there were more shots in the first sequence or the second sequence?
I do not recall.
And what were you doing when those shots were being fired? Were you at the car? Were you walking to the car or what?
We were walking towards the car.
At some point, did you see any vehicles in the parking lot that caught your attention?
Yes, sir.
And what kind of car was that?
There was a red SUV that looked like a Durango at the time that had pulled in.
And where were you when you first noticed that car?
I was almost to the car.
And what was it about the red SUV that caught your attention?
I heard the tire squealing, and he pulled in and just stopped.
All right. And where was the car coming from? From what direction?
From the left, which would have been from the area of the gate.
All right. And when you say the car stopped, did it pull into a parking space or did it stop straight?
It stopped straight, like right in the middle.
And can you circle or mark on states number 1 the approximate area where the red SUV came to a stop?
It was somewhere around that area.
All right. Where was your attention focused at that point when the red SUV came to a stop?
At the SUV,
And why was that?
because I did not know at the time what was going on.
Did you see anyone get out of the red SUV?
Yes, sir, I did.
How many people?
2.
And from where did those people get out of the car?
The front driver's side and the front passenger side.
Could you tell the sex of either of the 2 people that got out?
No, sir, I could not.
Could you tell if they appear to be white, black, Hispanic, Asian, or
They
what?
appear to be 2 black individuals.
All right. And the person who got out of the front passenger seat, where did that person go?
He stood at his door for a second, he was on a cell phone, and then he went to the back door, opened it, and was looking inside.
Do you know what he was looking at?
No, I do not.
Did you ever see that person, the front passenger, leave the immediate area of the car?
No, sir.
Did you ever see that front passenger come around to the driver's side of the car?
No, sir.
Did you ever see the front passenger with anything in his hands other than a cell phone?
No, sir.
Did you see anything on the person of the front passenger at any time other than his cell phone?
No, sir.
Did you see the front passenger throw or take anything out of the car?
No, sir.
I want to turn your attention to the driver now. What did that person do when they got out?
He went immediately to the back door, opened it, and leaned inside.
Do you know what the driver was looking at when he looked in the back door?
No, I do not.
Do you know what the driver was doing, if anything, within the car?
No, I do not.
Did you ever see the driver walk away from the immediate area of the SUV?
No, I did not.
Did you ever see the driver with anything in his hands?
No, sir.
Did you ever see anything on the person of the driver?
No, sir.
Did you see the driver take or throw anything out of the car?
No, sir.
Did you see anything come out of the car?
No, sir.
Did you ever see anyone other than the driver and the front seat passenger exit the SUV?
No, sir, I did not.
At some point, did the driver and the front passenger get back in the SUV?
Yes, sir, they did.
And what did the SUV do then?
The doors closed, and they backed back towards the gate.
And when you say they went back to the gate or back to the gate, were they in reverse?
They put it in reverse, yes, sir.
At some point, while this was going on, did you put your son into your sister's car?
Yes, sir, I did.
And was he in a car seat?
Yes, sir, he was.
Did it take you a long time to do that?
No, sir, it did not.
And where was that seat located?
Behind the front passenger, so it was the back side, passenger side.
Other than the time that you strapped your son in, where was your attention focused?
The entire time on the SUV.
And is that because you had heard gunshots, seen that car speeding towards you, and didn't know if the shooters were in that car or not?
Yes, sir, exactly.
And at some point, did you get back into your sister's car?
Yes, sir, I did.
And did the two of you leave the plaza?
Yes, sir, we did.
When the red SUV was backing up, where was it backing up toward?
It was going in the direction of the gate.
Did you or your sister call 911 that evening?
Yes, sir, I did.
And when did you do that?
As we were pulling out.
Did you speak with a 911 operator?
Yes, sir, I did.
And did you tell them what you had seen and heard?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you tell them at some point that the driver may have looked like he was stashing something in the car?
I did say that.
What did you mean by that?
I did not know at the time what was going on. I heard gunshots. I saw the SUV pull in. The driver was leaning in. I figured maybe he was trying to either hide something in the car or something of that nature.
Did you ever see anything come out of the car?
No, sir, I did not.
So were you trying to convey to 911 that you thought he was putting something within the car or repositioning something within the car?
I said it was a possible.
All right, and could you see what he was doing in the car?
No, sir, I could not.
But you didn't see him take anything out of the car?
No, sir, I did
Nor
not.
anything come out of that car?
No, sir, not at all.
During your 911 call, did you put your sister Alyssa on the phone with the 911 operator?
Yes, sir, I did.
And why did you do that?
So that she could give them her address.
Did you speak with the police later in this case?
Not that night, but later on in the case, yes, sir.
All right, approximately how much later?
I want to say it was a few days.
All right, and did you meet with them in person?
Yes, sir, I did.
And did you tell them what you had seen and heard that evening?
Yes, sir, I did.
Mr. LeBlanc, do you know what a shotgun looks like?
Absolutely.
Did you ever see anything that looked like a shotgun anywhere in the vicinity of that car?
Not at all.
Did you ever see anything that looked like a pipe or a bat or a tire iron in the vicinity of that car?
Not at all.
All right, let me show you a couple of photographs. Stage 3, you recognize that? As an aerial of the plaza?
Okay. Okay, I see, yes. It's a little further down.
It is. Well, it's a little further away.
Right.
Than the previous one. Does that depict the exit that your sister used to leave the plaza?
Yes, sir.
Can you mark on there where that exit is? All right, and that leads on to Southside Boulevard?
Correct.
All right. Let me show you stage 43. You recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Does that appear to be the red Dodge Durango that you saw that evening in the plaza?
Yes, sir, it does.
And stage 21, do you recognize that as being what appears to be the driver's side of the red Dodge Durango that you saw that evening?
Yes, sir, it does.
You know, at this time, I would ask to publish states, I believe it is 167
It is 167, his portion of the 911 call.
only. Yes, sir.
All right. Any objection, Mr. Stroller?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Jackson 911, Matthew.
I'm just leaving the loop over by the Meadows. We heard what it sounded to be like some really weak gunshots.
Okay, Bay Meadows. Loop, you said?
What? I'm sorry?
The loop on Bay Meadows?
Yes, the loop over by Meadows.
Okay, what road is it on? I don't have a Bay Meadows.
Okay, what road is this on?
South side.
South side? It's south side of Bay Meadows.
Okay.
It was coming from over by the gas station, and then it looked like a Dodge Durango, but I can't be sure. It was like a red SUV. Came hauling ass around the corner. Two black males stepped out, and I'm not sure where they just took off to. There's a cop sitting across the street with somebody pulled over.
Hold on. From the two black males came from the red SUV?
Correct.
Okay, so the red SUV pulled up and the two black males got out?
Right. They pulled up. They didn't even pull into a parking spot. They just pulled into the lot, and like the driver stepped out. He was looked like a black male with kind of like longer hair. I couldn't really tell if he had dreads or not. Kind of dark. But
What color shirt?
and what color was the shirt? You remember? Well, yeah, one of them had a camouflage shirt on.
The one with the long hair?
And a hat. No, that was the passenger had the camo on. Well, do you know what color the driver's shirt was? We don't. Yeah, we didn't get a color of the driver's shirt.
Okay.
I was kind of preoccupied because I've got my 2-year-old son with me, and me and my sister, we just got to her car when we heard it. And then, like I said, they pulled up right there by us, and so
Did they get out, or what did they do?
Yeah, they stepped out of the vehicle. It looked like they were either looking. Yeah, one was on his cell phone looking back, and it looked like they were pretty much just. I don't know if they were trying to stash something in the car or look for something or what, but it looked like they got out, kind of brushed themselves off, and then they got back in, and they took off. I don't know which way they went because I was putting my son in the car when they did that. I was trying to get out of there as fast as I could because the last thing I need is for him to get shot over something stupid.
Did you get a tag number?
No, I didn't get it. Did you get the tag number? Yeah. Yeah, we were in the front. Like they stopped right before they got up to us.
Okay, which way did they leave when they left?
Do you see which way they left?
When they got back in their car, they went backwards, so they went back towards the gas station.
Back towards the gas station.
I don't know where the gas station is.
There's a gas station right there. It's a gate where the shots were. It sounded like the shots were fired from, and they just threw it in reverse because it's all kind of like one parking lot. Yeah, there's a gate, and then there's like a shopping center with the loop.
How many shots did you hear?
Oh, it was like how many shots do you think it was? Yeah, it was more than 6 because it was like pop, 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 and then it stopped for a second, and you heard pop, 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 pop.
Okay, so would you say close to 10?
About, yeah. Like it very well could have been.
Okay, what's your last name?
LeBlanc, L-E, B as in boy, L-A-N-C.
You want to see the officers when you come out? Are you still in the area?
We're actually headed back to the apartment when we talk to the officers.
Are they at the gas station?
We can have an officer meet us in the area. Yeah, if you want to send an officer over to my sister's apartment, that's where we're right by now. It's not far. It's hang on a second. I'll let you speak with her because she knows this area better than I do.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
Hi, my address is 75.
All right. Mr. LeBlanc, was that your portion of the 911 call to the sheriff's office?
Yes, it was.
All right. During that call, it sounded as though you were asking questions or talking to a female. Who was that?
That was Alyssa.
All right. Thank you, sir. Judge, that's all I have.
All right, Mr. Stroller.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. LeBlanc, that was you on the 911, correct?
Correct.
And you would say the memory was fresher in your mind when you gave that call and what you said on that call, correct?
Absolutely.
Human nature, your mind's not going to be as clear today as it was, 15 months ago?
Correct.
All right? So that call was about as accurate as it could get. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
And isn't it true you told 911 that you were preoccupied with putting your son in the car and that's why you didn't see much? True?
As they were backing up, yes.
All right, but that's not what you said on the 911 call. Did you just hear your 911 call?
I did.
Did you miss any of it?
No, I did not.
Would you say it's truthful and accurate?
Yes, sir, I would.
All right. Now, you said that prior to them getting back in and take off. Isn't that true? Isn't
No,
it true
they had
you
already,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Isn't it true you made the comment, I was preoccupied because I have my 2-year-old son with me, prior to you telling them they got back in the car and took off?
Correct, that was in reference to them backing up.
All right. So you would say that you were preoccupied, but then jump back and say, no, I wasn't preoccupied when they were getting in.
No, sir, not at all. I saw them get in, I did not see them back up.
All right. And my point is, you even said on the 911 call, I didn't even see where they took off, correct?
Correct,
As a matter of fact, your sister had to say on the phone they backed up,
correct,
and that's because you weren't looking.
correct, as they backed up.
So when Mr. Guy said, did you see anything thrown from the vehicle, you weren't looking when they were backing up, it's just when they were stopped and out of the vehicle, correct?
Correct,
Now also, the doors are open, the driver gets out, opens his door, true?
true,
Passenger gets out, opens his door, true?
correct,
Are you saying they both open the back doors as well?
yes.
You can't see what's going on inside that vehicle, can you?
No, I cannot.
And you tell 911 it looks like they're stashing something, and that's based on what you were looking at, correct?
Correct, I said they were looking as if they were stashing something or if they were looking for something.
Okay. And also on that, isn't it true that there were cars blocking your view and your line of sight from where you were parked in the parking lot?
No, sir.
Okay. And isn't it true that you now can't see through a Dodge Durango,
Correct,
right? You can't see what's going on the other side of the Dodge Durango, can you?
correct,
So when you told the jury the passenger didn't do anything or throw anything, you can't see him, can you?
well, the line of sight, the way he was facing the car, I could see both sides of the car.
Okay.
I mean,
Was your sister right next to you at the time?
I do not recall if she was or not.
Okay, so as we sit here today, you have no recollection of where your sister was getting in and out of the car.
Today, I do not, no, sir.
All right. So if you can see both sides of the car on your angle, would you say your sister could see the same thing?
Probably.
All right. So if she can't see the other side of the car, is it safe to say you couldn't either?
That depends on where she was standing. If she was standing at her driver's door, then she would not have been able to. I was standing towards the back.
Okay. And if she's on the passenger side on the other side of the car, she'd be able to see then. Is that what you're saying?
If she was standing right next to me, then yes.
All right. And isn't it true you went around the car to open the door and unlock it?
It's possible, I don't recall.
All right. And if you went around the car to open it and lock it to get in, you'd have to take your eyes off the Durango, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for a split second.
Yeah, and you'd have to get in. Well, you'd have to lean over and unlock the door, right? Because she didn't have power locks, did she?
Right.
She didn't have a remote control that unlocks it, correct?
It's a Saturn, I wouldn't have had to lean, I just have to reach back and flip a switch.
All right. And then you had to take your son, put him in the back seat, correct?
Correct.
Put him safely in his car seat. Strap him in,
Yep.
and then go back around to get in the passenger side, correct?
Correct.
And all that time, there's no way you could have been looking at the Durango.
If,
Sustained.
Is it true that during that time you were not looking at the Durango?
during the time that, if I unlocked the doors, then I'm sure I probably didn't see it as I was unlocking the door.
All right, and again, you told 911 you were preoccupied because of your son. Isn't that true?
Correct.
Those were your words. I'm not putting words in your mouth, am I?
Not at all.
That 911 tape wasn't altered in any way, was it?
No, it was not.
No one coerced you to make that phone call, correct?
No, sir.
Now, matter of fact, you said with Mr. Guy that the police contacted you a few days later.
I believe it was a few days. I could be wrong about that.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at the report?
It's fine. I'm sure the date on the report is accurate.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at the report?
I guess so.
Your Honor, if I can approach.
Yes, sir.
For the record, Your Honor, I'm showing supplemental 5, page 21 of 25. Mr. LeBlanc, this is not an evidence. It's just to refresh your recollection. Please look at it and let me know if looking at that date. Do you see your name there?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, can you read that top line to yourself, not out loud, and tell me if that refreshes your recollection?
Okay.
Okay. Your recollection refreshed?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it true you met with police on December 3rd, 2012?
Correct.
Do you recall when you gave a sworn statement to Mrs. Wolfson in this case?
Yes, I do.
What day was that?
I don't remember what the date
Would it
was.
refresh your recollection if I showed you?
Absolutely.
Your Honor, if I may approach, it's page,
It's irrelevant. He's not using to impeach him, so.
Sustained.
Judge, if I may, when you approach.
Sure.
Let me turn my mic off, Judge.
getting to be a long day. All right, I think I sustained it, but where do you want to go next?
I'll rephrase it.
Okay.
Mr. LeBlanc, do you recall going to the state attorney's office for your sworn statement on December 14th, 2012?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was at the state attorney's office, correct?
Correct.
And that sworn statement, took an oath to tell the truth like you did today,
Absolutely.
like you did in your deposition?
Yes, sir.
And that was recorded, correct?
Correct.
And that was with Ms. Wolfson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, that was even closer in time than your deposition and your testimony today?
Correct.
Okay. Now, on your tape statement, do you recall Ms. Wolfson asking you questions?
Yes, sir.
And do you kind of recall her asking similar questions of Mr. Guy?
Yes, sir.
All right. But nobody else was present. It was just you, the prosecutor, and detectives, correct?
Yes, sir.
And was this before or after your sister gave a sworn statement?
Not really sure about that.
All right. And isn't it true you talked to your sister after the event about what you guys had witnessed and seen?
Not really. I mean, we're like, what was that? What just happened, but nothing in depth.
So, but even after the night, before you talked to police, you did talk to your sister about the story, what you guys both saw, correct?
Right.
And prior to your sworn statement, you and your sister talked about what you both saw, correct?
Correct.
Now, Mr. LeBlanc, at one point in this case, you had some depositions scheduled with myself, correct?
Correct.
And at some point, Mr. Guy reached out to you because you had a warrant for your arrest. Isn't that true?
Correct.
All right. And at that point, you hadn't shown up for your depo. Is that true?
Correct.
All right. And you talked to Mr. Guy about your warrant,
Correct.
and that was for you failing to appear in court.
Yes, sir.
And that was for failing to appear in court in this courthouse, correct?
Correct.
And then Mr. Guy actually called in for you to get that warrant recalled. Isn't that true?
Yes, it is.
You didn't have to hire an attorney. Is that true?
No, sir.
It's true or
Well,
it's not?
it's true.
Right. You didn't have to hire an attorney.
Correct.
You didn't have to turn yourself in at the jail. Right?
Correct.
Right? You didn't go to the jail and say, I've got a warrant, I want to turn myself in.
Didn't know I had one.
All right? And at that point, you walk into court because the warrant's gone. Isn't that true?
I walked into court because they gave me my court date.
Well, when you walked
But,
in,
yes, sir.
right, Mr. Guy told you the warrant was recalled.
Yes, sir. You told me that the warrant was recalled and I had a court date.
All right? And after that is when you appeared for your depo in this case. Isn't that correct?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Guy?
Mr. LeBlanc, what was that capious, that arrest warrant, what was that for?
A suspended license.
Did you, and then I called you and told you that you had a warrant for you,
Yes, sir.
and I told you I would call the judge's office and try to get you a court date.
Correct.
Did you get a court date?
Yes, sir, I did.
When was it?
The following week.
Did you go to court?
Absolutely.
Tell the jury what happened in court.
I walked into court. The judge asked me when I could provide a valid driver's license to the court. I told them I had one. He asked me to hand it to the prosecutor. At that time, I handed it to the prosecutor. The prosecution said that I was okay, and he told me to have a nice day.
And you had a valid license?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Was the prosecutor me,
No.
to your knowledge?
No.
Did the prosecutor know who you were,
Not at all.
that you were a witness in this case?
No, sir.
You were asked about the time that you put your son in his car seat. Your son was 2?
Yes, sir, he was.
Had you ever put him in a car seat before?
Yeah, a few thousand times.
Okay. Was that complex? I mean, did you kind of have to study what you were doing and take some time?
No, I'm a pretty quick learner.
Fair to say that your attention was not off the SUV very long while you were putting your son in the car?
Not at all.
You were asked about talking to your sister before you came and talked to the detectives. Did you and your sister conspire and say, hey, let's see if we can get our story straight and try to pin something on somebody?
Your Honor, I
No,
only
sir.
object to argumentative and leading.
Sustain.
This guy over here, The guy sitting on the right-hand table, you know who that is?
Not at all.
There was a young man, used to live in Jacksonville named Jordan Davis, black male, 17. Did you know Jordan Davis?
At the time, no.
You never met him.
No, not at all.
You were asked about coming down to give a sworn statement to Miss Wolfson. Do you recognize her?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there was a police officer present?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did Miss Wolfson tell you what to say in your sworn statement?
Not at all.
Did the detective tell you what to say in your sworn statement?
Not at all.
Did you do your level best to tell them what you saw and heard on the evening of November 23rd, 2012?
Yes, sir, I did.
Thank you, sir.
May Mr. LeBlanc be excused? Yes. Mr. Stroller?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude it for today. It's 4:45. We had a nice full day. And because you all have requested, we will resume tomorrow, albeit Saturday. We will again resume at 9 o'clock. For everybody else that needs to know, we intend to work a full day at your request. So we will resume at 9. We'll have lunch here for you, and then we will conclude around 5 o'clock. Maybe we might get a few minutes early. You never know. It depends on how the testimony goes. So again, thank you very, very much for your time and attention, not just for today, but obviously for the last 4 days, 5 days. You can leave your notes here. We'll watch those for you. Again, do not discuss the case among yourselves. Don't let anybody discuss it in your presence. And I hadn't asked before today, but have we had any difficulties with anybody trying to discuss anything with you, approach you, anything like that? We're living in our little bubble. Very good, very good. And you're getting to be good friends, I'm sure. All right. Well, you all have a safe trip back to the hotel, and we will see you first thing in the morning. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, jurors are out of the courtroom. We can do a couple of more